Some new details from Dallas police on tracking down a suspected rapist. Our Rebecca Lopez has been following the case of Dralon Patterson. And
Dralon Patterson to at least 2 sexual assaults through DNA, and they are looking at him in other cases.
Mother, and she told you that he had told her the DNA would clear him.
Yeah, and she really believes that. You know, he told her that the DNA would clear him. His family says that it was not the man. This is not the man that they know. They say he was working on his master's degree and is a dedicated husband and father. But DPD paints a very different picture of a predator that they say his DNA against.
He is sitting in jail, accused of raping a woman in Uptown Dallas. But tonight, Dralon Patterson says he is innocent and that DNA will prove it. News 8.
Dorothy Patterson says she was shocked when she got the call that her son Dralon had been arrested and suspected of rape.
I'm having difficulties processing all of this. It's very hard as a mother who's raised her child to be respectful.
Dallas police, she says he is married to his childhood sweetheart and is a family man.
They went through junior high, high school, junior college, college. Both of them are degreed, have 2 beautiful children. Says, Mom, it's gonna be okay. Don't worry about it. DNA doesn't lie. Don't worry about it. It's gonna be okay. I'm okay. Just let my wife know I love her. I'm okay.
His family adamantly defends him, but the evidence continues to mount. Weapon. The suspect's family says they don't believe it's him. They say he is a family man with children.
Dallas County in particular has a troubling history of wrongful convictions, especially when it comes to black men.
There's also one who cares about people while incarcerated at the Wainwright unit. He's been tutoring inmates with his academia, intelligentsia. He has used that to help other people while incarcerated. This is the kind of man he is, and he wants justice. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Chaplain. The key things I want you to take from that. Dralon is educated. He's using his academic skills to help others even while he's going.
The attorney knew, the state prosecution knew that Dralon Patterson was a man who engaged in prostitution. And so Mr. Patterson is sitting in prison today because he was painted as a serial rapist. Many of the victims who had made allegations against Mr. Patterson was not present at his trial. He never had the opportunity to cross-examine these people. Detective Holmes here in Dallas had informed the jury that 2 other people, that was DNA, that Patterson had raped 2 other individuals, and that DNA wasn't before the court. Neither were those people. And so this man is sitting in prison on a life sentence, accused of raping people he never got the opportunity to even confront. So we're not here to discount anyone else's being a victim. We're not saying that the person wasn't raped. We're just simply saying Mr. Patterson didn't do it. Investigation that the state obtained a penile swab of Mr. Patterson. That was to get some DNA from him to determine if his DNA was found inside the alleged victim, and vice versa. And I discovered that the results of that test was never admitted into evidence. And that was very concerning to me, because that's the smoking gun. It's not unconstitutional, I should say, to have an all-white jury. And I don't complain about these things. I'm not saying that an all-white jury can't be fair and impartial. But here's what's disturbing to me. That was 14 potential black jurors here in Dallas County. None of them made the cut. Even when asked if they understood DNA, I remember there was a teacher, she said she understood DNA very well. She was cut. You want to convince a jury that this was not a rape, but consent. Wouldn't you want to hear from both parties? Right? I would cross-examine and say, wait a minute, did you not consent to this? Right? I want to know something about the victim. I want to know what time she was raped. Right? And so I want to make sure her facts are straight. Especially when I know that my client has been engaged in prostitution for over a decade. I'm looking through the evidence, and the night before he was arrested, he got a text from one of the ladies that he was contracting with And she says, you're done for. We got your DNA. So when I start thinking about we got your DNA, right? And I start thinking about the interaction that he had subsequent that last event that led to his arrest, I feel like some people set him up. Is that there's some responsibility in the media. You don't simply believe everything somebody tell you. Whatever happened to checking?
Investigative reporting.
I mean, the slightest investigation would have revealed that Mr. Patterson was hooked on prostitution. I didn't say prosecution that time, did I?
Right.
He was hooked on prostitution, right? And I think that I know that Dallas County has a horrible reputation across the nation for wrongful conviction. That's not a secret. That's a fact. That's not my opinion. Understand that? And so it's unfortunately that we have to come to times of this where we have to rely on social media and advocate on behalf of people when we got the greatest judicial system in the world, man. When it works. When it works.
There was cameras all over that area. Were there ever any video evidence that placed him there at a certain time when this so-called alleged incident occurred?
I haven't reviewed that. The question was there any evidence, video evidence? There are a lot of questions that are unanswered. There are a lot of things to be desired. You understand what I'm saying? And so we got these business records from companies that's not in existence. We got women who are not even there who said Patterson raped them. And a jury get to hear all of this. We got 14 black people get kicked to the curb off the jury or put in positions guaranteed not to get picked, the kind of stuff that you hear about in Dallas County for the last 35, 40 years. Listen, the issue with Patterson's indictment is, I recall, it didn't plead the use of a deadly weapon. And when the state doesn't plead the use of a deadly weapon, that shouldn't be taken into consideration in the punishment stage. Because when you use a deadly weapon in an instance like that, that makes your crime more severe and your punishment more severe. And the word gun got thrown around so many times, but it was never pled by the state. It should not happen. I would have made all kinds of objections to that.
Well, there were none made.
None. That's correct. People in Dallas County is that we got to get involved, and we got to hold our leaders accountable, and we got to protect our young men and young women from wrongful convictions, and we got to make sure that everybody gets justice and they're not taking advantage of it. And I wasn't here when Craig Watkins created the Innocent Project, Integrity Conviction Program, I believe it's called. But that was a great model. It was modeled all over the country. And from what I understand today, it's not as effective as it once was. And so as citizens, we got to revamp things of that nature, right? And we got to stand up for our young people. And we got to stand behind our children and make the state prove their case. We shouldn't be so quick as parents to condemn our own children just because the police say they did something.
That's right.
We shouldn't be so quick to call the police on our own sons, thinking that we're doing them a favor.
Right.
These people are not looking out for your children's best interests. They just using you. That's all. And so you need to get to the bottom of things and wake up. This is a different generation. Times have changed now. And people have rights, and you got to assert those rights, and you got to want to protect them.
I'm not a lawyer, nor do I know much about the law. But it didn't take a lot for me to know that the law was not being applied as I sat through that trial. I stand here as a woman who believes that every woman has a right to walk the streets safely. So as his mother, I started making sure that I do my homework, not to excuse his behavior by any means, but to understand that he is still my child. And if they allege this is something that he did, then I wanted him to get fair punishment. I began to seek legal counsel because they had arrested him, and after February the 2nd, I hadn't seen him anymore on this side of the concrete. set his bail so high that it was impossible to afford it. Not be set so high that one cannot afford it. $753,388 is way beyond my pay grade. Fast forward, after the trial, I was yet determined. I went to my son, I said, son, let me tell you, I'm the only one that's gonna stick by you to the end. If you lie to me, I'm going to walk away just like everyone else has. My son said, Mom, I did not rape anyone. And they may as well give me life, because I'm not taking a plea deal for something I did not. And I want to help you as women know that I am out here to make sure you are safe. But then as a mother, I'm out here to tell other mothers how to make sure your child receives fair justice in Dallas County. I'm not here trying to get somebody off for something that they did. I'm here trying to get somebody off for something they did not do according to what has been proven by the apex predator, Attorney Cauuse. So when you get a conviction, mothers, fathers, I'm the mother, the aunt, the whoever don't have me, make sure you do your motion for new trial within 30 days. That is what preserves the evidence. That is the only reason why Dralon and I are in this position right now. If you do not do that, you may as well throw in the hat. Because then you're gonna have a loved one sitting there for 30 years, although he's innocent. Mothers, if you know your children, stick by your child. Trust, and I don't know who you trust, but I trusted God. And trust God's process. His timing works well. Although Mr. Collins never met me, but when I came down to Lousterit to go up there and look for his new appellate attorney, I said, Father, I cannot go through this here public defender stuff ever again. And when you have a public defender come to you as a mother and tell your son to take the plea deal. You're supposed to be defending my son. Have you looked at the paperwork? Have you done anything? To have to watch my grandchildren ask, when is daddy coming home? That's painful. Especially, I know what they say, and I know what he was doing as far as prostitution goes, but one thing I do know, he was a good father. Whatever he did it after hours. Don't make it right, but it makes it real. And that's what that is. And do not give up on your children. Just don't give up on your children. It hurts. It's a long process. It's scary. But God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of sound mind. And that's what you have to do. Turn a deaf ear to fear. And then you gotta walk by faith, not by sight. Because I'm telling you, looking at life, that's all I see. Every time I pull up my son's case, life.